some state news from Sooner Politics. The Tulsa cops defy state law. They threaten the arrest of Oklahoma 2A President Don Spencer.
Yeah.
So tell us what happened.
You want me to take this?
Well, yeah,
Okay.
you can.
Okay.
Did you
It was
put it up
Oktoberfest.
on
This is from Sooner
Oklahoma-
Politics.
On Sooner? Okay.
Sooner Politics, it's also, I shared it to
He
3
visited
politics.
with at least 6 uniformed personnel at the Oktoberfest on River Parks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Attempted to show several officers the laws that bans tenants from leasing the parks from denying citizens the right to defend their lives. He's saying he has a constitutional right to carry his arms, and they weren't going to let him do it.
Well, it's more than a constitutional right. It's a
Statutory.
right that's written in statute.
Yeah.
And what was interesting was the final guy who wanted to arrest him and actually basically pushed him to the street was Officer Chris Witt.
Yep.
And W-I-T-T. Didn't get a badge number if I
think it was
don't
557. I remember.
Was
He
it?
finally gave it. Yeah, it was a 3-digit. Had 5s in there.
Well, watch the video, folks, because calls need to be made to the police department and directed at the police chief, because the police chief is ultimately guilty of this, and all of your city councilmen, because they are guilty for allowing the police chief to remain.
Yes.
They hire the police chief. They are guilty. They want to divert attention from themselves, and their oath of office requires them to hold the police chief accountable. Mm-hmm. And they want to divert that with this whole OIM office and board and all of that.
Right.
They don't get such a pass. But this Witt said, I don't care about the law.
Yeah.
When confronted with the law, he says, I don't care about that. Get out of here, or you're under arrest.
Yeah. Now, our friend Tim Harper did get arrested down at that same location. He put up his video of it. So yes, it is happening. It was the same Officer Witt. Yeah. I have some other problems with it. They're using retired cops and then throwing uniforms on them. And keep in mind, those cops are not actually there on duty. Most of them are they're rent-a-cops.
Right.
But they're allowing them to wear shirts that say Tulsa Police Department, which I believe is...
And doesn't say retired underneath the badge or anything.
And I'm just thinking, let's print us ourselves some t-shirts to say that, see if we get by with
Well,
it.
hey, we're just as much a cop as they are.
Yeah, thank you. So,
constitutionally speaking.
Statutorily, it's banned to present yourself as being a municipal law enforcement if you're not. That's in the statutes.
Right.
So we got that part of it. Don Spencer did something that I want to commend. He had his video going, not just one, but he had 2 cameras going. And this is really important. In fact, he had one that was kind of hidden. I know it was a GoPro or something.
No, he has it right here on his chest.
He? Okay,
he does everywhere.
But he's holding the cell phone, trying to make you think that's the one. I think he wants to have a dummy one or something.
Well, he may have had that, but he goes around with a regular body cam.
Yeah.
Kind of a device, and it's pretty big.
Okay, badge cam, probably like the cops use.
Well, but it's like this size.
It's a big one.
It's a big one.
So
you can't miss it.
You just, folks, when you're trying to stand up for your rights and you have a reasonable belief that you might be challenged, get some tape, some video of it.
And yes, if you're working this, and thankfully we have people like Tim Harper, Rick Hubbard, Don Spencer, and people like that who are exercising their rights and catching footage of how the police are selectively choosing what laws they will uphold and what laws they will ignore, because when it comes to our rights, they very conveniently forget those and ignore those. But when it comes to, and this is weird because it's in statute, they always claim they have to follow the statute. But, it's not about the Constitution. If it's about that, I have to follow the statutes, fix the statutes. As though, somehow they have a right, because it's in statute, to go and violate rights.
Just do my job.
Yeah.
And that is their MO, But then when confronted with statute that says the opposite of what they want, then all of a sudden they want their cake and eat it too,
Right.
and they're just going to ignore the statute.
Yeah. So Don gets credit for that, and I hope he does file a lawsuit. I believe he can go with tort law, and yeah, it's going to cost
Harper and Hubbard as well.
It's going to cost the city dearly, but you know what? How else are you going to get their attention? That our civil rights have value, and we're going to see them as valuable.
Well, and this happened after we had our talk with Steve Kunstweiler. But Steve, if you're watching, what are you doing about this? Because this is a criminal action. This was battery. It was threat of force. It was terroristic threats to be battered, have handcuffs slapped on you, have your stuff gone through illegally, and then be thrown in jail potentially. Yeah. That was the threat. Yeah. So the question is, what is being done by the higher-ups and by the people that would hold these people accountable? City councilors. Yeah. Cass Farr. What are you doing? We've had this discussion. What is the mayor, G.T. Bynum, doing? He's directly responsible for this. What's the police chief doing? Okay. He's sworn an oath.
Let's say they had a different rule up there, like at Oktoberfest. That's what the event was. So it was a private entity that was leasing the property, and our laws say it doesn't matter. You can still charge admission, and you can remove people for cause, and that, but not their constitutional rights. You can't take away from them.
Correct.
Where the law says you cannot. It's just like if we had a sign above Oktoberfest that says no gays allowed, or no Chinese, no Asians allowed,
no free speech.
Yeah, and things like this. What would happen? Because your right to self-protection under the Second Amendment is just as much a constitutional right as your right to equal protection under the law.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, kudos to Steve or to Don Spencer. OK2A, and he's a lobbyist. Fact is, he was shown in the law, and don't argue with what's there.
He's the one who wrote
He's the one that wrote them, okay? He writes all of them, So
he knew full well that it was in there. Well, what was interesting was that if watch the video, because you will see he says that he reads the law to them that they cannot, that no private entity can make the public park no longer public, because that's their excuse. It's like it's a private event, so therefore it's a private.
Well, wait a minute. Are you saying that they have to let everybody in,
no,
or can they charge admission?
They can charge admission.
Yeah.
But the point is that the park remains a park, and you cannot, as the private party using the park, deny people their constitutional rights just because it's now your private.
Which is the same problem we ran into at the rally.
Yeah. Yes. Because we didn't have a right to exclude them either.
Yeah, we'll be talking about.
We're going to come up with